Hello everybody and welcome back to another brand new video. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. This week we are doing another Friday Disney video. I hope you're excited. If you are new, hello, my name's Libby and I upload videos twice a week at the minute. And if you like all things Disney, fashion, beauty related, then please feel free to subscribe now. Now for this week's video, I've decided to go back to my roots a little bit and kind of go back to my theme park videos because the last two Friday videos have been based on Disney Plus. And although that's really helpful, I am missing talking about the parks a lot. So I thought today I would go back and mention them again. And my blog post last week was actually relating to a video I made ages and ages ago, and this was my best attractions to queue for video, which I made based off all the rides in Disney World and what ones I prefer queuing for and just what attractions I think have really fun and entertaining queuing processes. And like I said, I wrote the blog for that video last week, so if you want to check that out then please do. I'll leave it in the description if you're interested at all. But when writing this blog post I realised that it wasn't finished and I should really do a second part to kind of give you more of an idea of Disney and what to do when you go there. So this week I'm going to be talking about the opposite end of the spectrum, and I'm going to be talking about Disney World attractions which have really boring queuing lines and are worth buying a fast pass for. Now originally I thought this idea would be really easy to do, but I actually did struggle a bit. Obviously you're only limited to a certain amount of fast pass with your tickets and you can only buy certain tiers of fast passes at a time, and it's just a whole confusing big deal. And obviously there's some attractions that have really boring lines, but it doesn't matter as much because their queues are never particularly long, and vice versa. So obviously this plan wasn't that easy in the end because I actually had to end up thinking about what attractions had longer queues to begin with and then what ones of them didn't have very interesting queuing processes either. So it did take a while. I actually did only come up with 10 attractions which fitted into this category, so I think that's quite good because, as you know, between all four parks there are tons and tons of shows and attractions, and to only have 10 which are slightly boring I think is really good, especially on Disney's behalf. Of course some attractions, like I said, do have very boring lines, but you're never in the line for a particularly long time so you don't mind that much. So I've truly tried to focus this video on attractions which do usually have a really long line and do have very boring queuing processes, to try and give you a bit of an idea of what attractions you should buy fast passes for if you're interested in riding any of these rides. As always, please remember that these are just my personal opinions and this video is just meant to be a bit of fun. Of course, if you have a fast pass for Disney, it's always great no matter what attraction you're going on, but this is just a little list to maybe help you out and let you know what ride you should definitely grab a fast pass for. So I've tried to write this list from the most bearable ride to the least bearable ride. I keep saying all rides in Disney are amazing and I wouldn't mind queuing for any of them, but these are just the ones that I try and queue for as little as possible. So the first ride that I actually want to talk about, which is in 10th position, is Buzz Lightyear. Overall this queuing process isn't that bad. For the majority of it you do get to queue inside, which is always a bonus because obviously air conditioning. The only cons I would say about this ride is that it is always busy, so you will have to wait. You do have to wait outside for a little bit when it is really busy. The queuing process is really dark inside and there's not much to do in there at all. There's nothing very interactive on the walls, not much entertainment to do while you're waiting. It is just a really standard zigzag queuing process. This is why it's on the bottom of my list. It's not too unbearable, but it's still not the greatest line to be waiting in. Similar to that attraction, the second attraction I want to talk about is Pirates of the Caribbean. Again, this is another ride where you queue inside, which is great. Only con I would say about this attraction is that it is really dark when you're waiting, and again there's not a lot to do in it at all. You literally just have to stand in a single file line, almost like in a tunnel, so it can be really boring, especially if you have younger children who you're waiting with. The next two attractions I'm actually going to speak about together, and this is both Splash Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain. As you know, I mentioned Space Mountain in my previous video because that does actually have a really good queuing process now and it does keep you very entertained while you're waiting. With all the mountain rides in Disney, they all have a significantly long wait. I think lots of people like to do all three of them, which makes them really busy all the time. So just be prepared to wait in these queues. The reason I don't like either of these queues is because they seem to be really hot. They're not necessarily out in the open, but they're not completely in a building either. They're kind of a mixture in between. When you queue for it, you know what I'm talking about. There is quite a lot to look at on both these attractions, which is always good. It's just nice to have some visuals and something to take your mind off waiting, but it does seem to get extremely hot and clammy in these queues, so that's why I don't particularly like waiting for them. But again, it's not the worst queue in the world. The next attraction I want to talk about is Dinosaur. I've spoken about this in my previous videos. I absolutely love this ride. It's a must-do attraction, but again the queuing process is really boring. I don't feel like the queue has anything to do with the ride ride. It is just like a massive hall sort of thing that you're waiting in. Again, I feel like this attraction has peaks. Sometimes it's really busy and sometimes you can get on at a really good wait time, but if you do have to queue for this attraction, then you will get quite bored because there is not a lot to look at all apart from blank walls. My fifth ride, which I want to talk about, actually makes me really sad that I'm even mentioning it in this video, and I think the main reason why this attraction's wait line is so poor is mainly because all the other attractions around it have really fun and interesting queuing lines, and the attraction I'm talking about is It's a Small World, and this is a really popular ride. Again, a lot of children love it, a lot of adults love it. It's just an all-round crowd pleaser, I would personally say, but still it does have a really boring and slow wait line, unfortunately. If you've queued for this before, I'm sure you know, but the actual line itself is quite small and compact. They do fit a lot of people in, but you are very close together. You're going in a standard zigzag queue all the way down till you get on the boat, and the only thing you really do have to look at is the boat where guests are getting on and off. And because Fantasyland is a really popular part of the park where you take your children, especially when they're younger, I feel like this can be a really boring queue, especially if you are taking them on this ride. Right, now we're into the top four, and I feel like these are the main rides which I would definitely buy a fast pass for. All the other rides I would wait for, but only if I really wanted to go on them, because the queues are bearable. There's only a few little points here and there which just makes them not the most interesting, but these four rides at the top are just ones that I always make sure to have a fast pass for as much as I can, because just queuing for them is just so bland and so boring, and these rides are guaranteed to have a long wait no matter when you go, whenever in the year. So in fourth place, the first ride I want to talk about is Soaring, and this is in Epcot. I'm sure you know where it is. It's a very popular ride in Disney. It's just honestly such a breathtaking and beautiful ride, and I try and go on it as much as I can when I'm there. But unfortunately, the queuing for it is so bad, and it just honestly makes me sad anytime I do have to stand in the queue, because it is just so boring. Basically, if you've not stood in this queue before, it's like two really tall walls, and it's just blank walls with an LED strip across them, and it's just one straight line. You don't see any guests to the side of you. It's just one straight line, and it is really boring. And as I'm sure you're aware, this attraction always has a really long wait time. Anytime I've gone on it, it's had a long wait time, so that's why I'm so happy when I have got a fast pass, because it is such an iconic ride and it is so well worth going on. But just if you can avoid the queuing for it, I would definitely recommend it. The third attraction I want to talk about is the Tomorrowland Speedway, and this attraction is, again, a really great attraction, always a really busy attraction. I've only started going on it the past few years I've been to Disney. I never used to really acknowledge it, but I have started going on it now, and I have to say it is really fun, and it does give you a really nice look at the park as well, and give you a bit of control as well, which is really nice. But again, the queuing process for it is absolutely dreadful. This queue again is all located outside, so it is boiling hot the whole time you are there, and because these speedway cars are run with petrol, it absolutely stinks of petrol, which I don't mind. I quite like the smell of petrol, but when you have to stand there for 40+ minutes to an hour and a half to sometimes even longer, the smell does become a bit much and probably isn't the best for you either. So again, if you do really want to go on this ride, please make sure you get a fast pass for it. You'll thank me later, because no one wants to spend their day at Disney waiting in a smelly, long, really hot line. The second attraction I want to talk about is Kilimanjaro Safaris, which is in Animal Kingdom. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself. This is such a great ride, and it's probably why it does always have such a long queue as well. This is honestly one of them experiences that you can't describe. It's just such an amazing experience and time and attraction, and I just love going on it. My first reason why I would recommend getting a fast pass for this attraction is because you can specifically choose what time you're going to go on the safari, which will do you wonders. They recommend going on the safari after either a rainfall or in the evening time when it's a bit cooler out, because there'd be a greater chance that you'll see more animals, which is obviously always a bonus. When you go on this attraction, you want to see as many animals as possible, so just having the chance to choose exactly what time you're going to go is going to help you a bunch, especially for this ride. The main other reason I'd recommend getting a fast pass for this attraction is just because the queue is really boring. Again, it is outside. You are lucky that you are under shelter for this queue, but again, it is really hot and muggy, and you will be outside for the entire time. There's not much to look at. You're kind of within the bushes. It's also quite dark and just a really boring queue, and just something that's going to take away the excitement for the attraction a little bit. So I always make sure to get a fast pass for this ride. This is probably one of my #1 attractions I make sure to get a fast pass for, just because it's such an amazing experience. I would never not do it, but the queuing process for it does really take it out of you before you've even got on the attraction itself. And the last ride I want to quickly talk about, which I actually made a point of talking about in my Disney Hollywood Studios theme park advice video, which I made ages and ages ago. So it is such a staple attraction to remember to get a fast pass for if you want to ride it, and this is the Rockin' Roller Coaster, and it is probably one of the most high intensity rides in Disney World, which again is probably why it is so popular and usually has such a long wait time. But this queuing process is mind-numbing. It is so boring. It just mixes everything from all the other attractions we spoke about all together. It has the tall walls, which we spoke about in Soaring, which again just blocks off everything. You can't see anything at all. It has the zigzag queuing process, so you're literally just going back on yourself. It's out in the open, so it's really hot and muggy, and it's just no fun at all, especially when you have to normally queue over an hour to get onto the attraction itself. And it's just no fun, and when you go to Disney, you don't want to spend all this time waiting for these attractions in these really boring queues. That's all I've got to say for this video. I really hope you enjoy it. Obviously, I'm not naive. I'm aware that when you go to Disney, the likeliness that you're going to be queuing for a lot of the day is extremely high. As it is such a popular place, there are so many visitors and their attractions are amazing, so why would you not go on them? But I hope this list did help you out a bit to know what attractions to definitely get a fast pass for if you're interested in seeing them. Like I said, I did actually make another video relating to this on what queues are the best to waiting and what lines actually add to the attraction you're about to go on. So I'll leave that linked in the description if you're interested at all and knowing the other side of this. As always, if you did enjoy this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and also leaving me a comment in the descriptions of what attractions you don't like to queue for or what attractions you love to wait for. Also, if you want to see more from me in the future, then please subscribe. As I said at the start of this video, I am currently uploading twice a week. On a Monday, I upload either a beauty, fashion or lifestyle video, and every Friday I upload either a Disney or Florida inspired video, which is like what I've done today. And this is really good, especially if you are planning to go on a Disney holiday in the future. I would definitely recommend subscribing because there's going to be loads and loads of videos like this going up in the future. This week I'm also uploading a blog post which is live at the same time as this video, and it's actually another quiz blog post this week. I made one of these a couple weeks ago and it did have really good feedback, so I've decided to make another one, especially because we're all in quarantine. You might as well give it a go and test your knowledge. This is a Disney attractions emoji quiz, so it's really fun to do with children if you have them, or if you just want to test yourself and see how good you are. Again, I'll leave it in the description for you guys. But that's all I've got to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. I love doing videos like this. I think I'm going to try and make this as much as a theme as I can. But yes, that's all I've got to say for this week. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you all very soon on Monday's video. Bye!